Hello everyone, welcome to the Mint analysis for 11th March 2022. I have already shared the text analysis on the group. If you are not a part of it, you can join the group from the link given in description. Now, the today's highlight is how poll results will impact India's president elections. So the results that were declared yesterday so I can give you a brief right now. There were 5 states and the results are such that in Punjab, our party has won, and in other 4 states, which were Manipur, Goa, UP, and Uttarakhand, the government of BJP is there. So this was the overall results. So now, how will it impact the president election? So all these, parties that have been elected right now, these MLAs will have a say in the president election. Why? Because during the president election, all the both the houses, Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, and the MLAs have a say for electing the president. So that is why the election results will indirectly impact the president election. Now, the 5 states for which the elections were held, 690 of the total 4,120 MLAs have already been elected. So we have elected around 690 of them already, which are further going to impact the president election. This is the first thing. Now, second is why UP was most significant. So you need to understand that UP has a very large size, because of which the MLAs that are required to manage and control UP becomes huge. And this is why UP has a larger say when it comes to president as compared to other states. So that's why if in UP BJP has its hold, it will become favorable for BJP to gain more seats in the parliament as well. So this is why, and also you can see the stats that the state made up 81% of the vote value. So among the 5 states that had election, UP made up 81% of the vote value. This is what it is saying. Now, for having a deeper understanding, I will be posting a link in the description, and you can go on and see how does this system actually work. So, which are the people that we elect and how the upper levels get elected. So, it will give you a more clarity, and you will be able to talk in interviews as well. Now, let's see how does the figure look like in Parliament. So, right now, NDA has 50%, 57% of vote share in parliament. But if you know, in Rajya Sabha, one third of the people gets retired. So it's not that all of them get elected in one go. It's that every after every 2 years, one third gets retired, and then new people come in. So it is right now the stats is such that there are 66 members of Rajya Sabha which will be retiring, and out of those 66, 30 of them are from NDA. So 30 will move out. Now, which people are coming in? The new 30 people, are they of NDA or non-NDA group? That will play a critical role in deciding how much majority they will have in the parliament. However, it is said that even if those people are not from NDA, NDA will still have 52% share in parliament. So, in the next fifth point, the same thing is said that if they are not from NDA, then BJP will have to move to other parties like BJD and YSRCP to gain the majority. That's how the play out will work. Next is stocks zoom as state polls give clear mandate. So after we get to know that BJP has won, the sentiments of investors were boosted. They saw a stability, and because a stable government means stable policies, so lesser uncertainties. And when there are lesser uncertainties, lesser policies change, the market see it as a positive sign, and in that's why in stock market the price rose up. So this is what went behind. So this is what this article is saying. Next is foreign exchange buffer for India credit profile. So as you might know, there are certain credit rating agencies like S&P Global, Fitch, or Moody's, and there are many more. So these rating agencies also give ratings to the countries. based on their credit profile. So it was expected that due to Russia and Ukraine war, India's credit profile will get hampered. It will have a negative rating. However, S&P Global has put the rating as triple B minus with a stable outlook. So it is just explaining this rating, that it has given it a stable outlook. And why it is so? Why it hasn't affected? Why this war hasn't affected the Indian credit rating? So it's because we know that energy prices will go up. There will be a impact on current account deficit. However, the faster accumulation of foreign exchange, so India will be able to acquire that foreign exchange faster, and that's why it will be able to sail through this time, and that's why the rating is still stable. Now, the second point is that India's debt to GDP ratio is about 90%. So, even because so it should have at least raised some concern, and the rating should have got affected. So, S&P Global is saying that this high debt to GDP ratio has already been factored in, and based on which it has reached to a stable outlook on India's credit profile. Now, other agencies like Fitch, they are still assessing the degree of uncertainty, and they will be rolling out their credit rating soon. This is all about it. Next is banks build digital offspring. So right now, urban people like to do their banking on the fingertips. They are moving towards digital wallets, digital currency. So because of which, now the banks are also creating their digital offspring. We will discuss it in detail. So first of all, it's done basically to cater the India's technology savvy population. And now, which banks have done it? So, SBI has done it. They are going to create a separate digital entity, and it will go with the name Only You Know. So, this is what SBI is thinking to do. Next is HDFC Bank. So, HDFC Bank is having a similar plan where it will, either create a separate digital entity, or somewhere or the other, they will also create a digital offspring. And why are they moving towards it? Because it becomes easier for the banks as well. The digital only bank can operate at very low cost. So the cost is low and the service is faster. So that's why it is yielding good returns to the customers as well as to the banks, and that's why they are creating their digital offspring. Next is export substitution, move to replace Russian supplies to European Union. So EU used to have too many imports from Russia, which consisted of gems and jewelry, 22 billion, iron and steel, $3.8 billion. And right now, because of the sanctions and war, they will not be able to import these products. So it becomes an opportunity for the Indian market and Indian manufacturer to supply these things to European Union and gain the returns. So there are overall 7 sectors where India can tap into. It consists of steel, chemicals, engineering goods, platinum, and gold jewelry. You can see apart from this, the indirect impact was that because of Russian retaliatory move of not, taking out the global projects over space, so not taking the satellite projects, because of which, since Russia won't be taking those projects, the global clients will be attracted towards India. So now they will use Indian services to launch their satellites. So Indian space sector becomes the next sector which is going to be benefited due to this situation. Now, in the steel, you have seen that many steel companies has already started doing it, and in oil, we were seeing RIL. So Reliance is going to tap that market. They have already made the plans. So these are the changes that you will be seeing in coming days as well. Also, here is a proof that the progress is there, that India steel companies and engineering exporters have also witnessed increase in queries. So now they are being inquired about the quality, about the prices at which they will be supplying it to the EU. So that's the development. Next is about incredible momentum in India-US relation. So they are saying that there is a meeting which is there yearly. So the recent meeting was October 2020, and then it was discussed in September 2021, and now the next meeting is in early April. So it's a 2+2 dialogue. And why 2 plus 2? Because ministerial dialogues takes place between foreign and defense ministers of both the countries. So from India, the defense as well as the foreign ministry goes, and from US, the foreign and defense minister also come. So it's a 2 plus 2 ministerial dialogue where they discuss about the defense relationship and discuss the development as well. So they are gaining momentum, and the next meeting is holding up soon. Next is about the result. You can see who has won in which state. So in Uttar Pradesh, it's Yogi Adityanath. Punjab mein, it's Bhagwant Mann. In Goa, Pramod Sawant. In Manipur, Mr. Biren Singh. Next is tire stocks wobble as margin pain persists. And why is it so? Because tire industry uses raw material, and those raw materials are basically crude derivatives. So they are the byproducts of crude, or they are derived from crude. So that's why, since crude has been impacted, their crude derivatives have been impacted, and because of which tire cost has been impacted. The other raw materials that are used, like natural rubber, the prices of natural rubber is stable. So it's basically the crude derivatives that are making them dry. Apart from this, now if we talk about the recovery, so since schools and offices are opening up, so there will be more replacement demand in tire industry, because of which their sales might go up. So it's a hope of recovery that the tire industry is also seeing. Now next is prices of raw materials, oil to pinch automakers' margins. So in raw materials, they wanted to say the semiconductor shortages, which means the chip shortages, because of which the cost will go up, and the oil. So if oil prices are going up, consumer will be, will try to stay away from the automobile, because they will have to put the oil into the engine, I mean in the vehicle, in order to utilize it. So all these factors actually are going to, they will lead to a drop in the automobile sector. Next is Colgate hires former HUL executive Prabha Narasimhan as Indian CEO. So Colgate has hired Prabha Narasimhan. She was before HUL executive, and now she will be heading Colgate. Next is urea plants fight to secure ammonia as war snaps supplies. So if you know that ammonia is a major key ingredient while it comes to manufacturing the fertilizer, and since we are going to face a shortage of ammonia, it will lead to the price increase of fertilizer, and also it will make it costlier. So the import of fertilizer will also become costlier, and we are going to see crop sowing season soon, because of which further the the food crops will see a price increase, and that's the situation here, because of which we can, in recent upcoming times, we will see a rise in food prices. Next is Goldman Sachs to exit Russia. So it's further a step, because Russia invaded Ukraine, and we are continuously seeing businesses like Goldman Sachs coming out of Russia. Next is Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo in talks to make phones in India for export. So why are in talks? Because government had introduced PLI schemes. In PLI schemes, which means production linked incentive. So these can provide some incentives if you produce it in our country, and it has successfully attracted Oppo, Vivo, and Xiaomi. So Oppo and Vivo are in talks with Lava, and Xiaomi in talks with Dixon, and they will, manufacture it here and export the products outside. So it's a success for the government, and let's see what happens next. Next is Reliance Retail terminates sublease of 950 future stores. So many of you are thinking that it was a court case that was going on, and how can Reliance, do something with future stores? So this has nothing to do with the current court case. In fact, before taking over the Future Group, Reliance had already purchased some of its stores. So it purchased it and then it leased it back. Okay, so it means that the Future was on lease in its own stores. So it there all the material was kept inside those stores which was on lease, and these were in the hands of Reliance. So if Future defaulted, then these stores will automatically go into the hands of Reliance. This is the background. And now what happened was that the Future Retail actually defaulted on the payment, and now these stores went to the hands of Reliance. Now Reliance have issued a notice that you have made a default, and now these will be my stores. So now you can think it was so strategized beforehand that even if Amazon, wins the case, it will not be able to have these stores back. So that was a strategic decision, move from Reliance that we were not able to see before. Next is European Central Bank to phase out stimulus sooner than hope. So to introduce the liquidity into the system, these banks purchased bonds. So they purchase bonds and then they pay for it. So indirectly the liquidity is there in the market. And this was done in the pandemic. Now to absorb back the liquidity to phase out the stimulus, they will be stopping this activity. So they won't buy the bonds, because of which the liquidity will be less. And now the next step will be to increase the interest rate. So this is what European Central Bank is doing. They will be phasing out the bond buying program soon, and the next step will be to increase the interest rates. Next is US February inflation rose 7.9% from year earlier. We have already seen that it has touched a high, and the the percentage change is 7.9% from year earlier. That's all we have in today's newspaper. So please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if it has helped you in any way. Thank you so much.